All right, your notes today are found on page 49. So I need everyone, or you, to turn to page 49. Okay, at the top left of the page, you see this problem, x squared plus 3x plus 2. Okay, what we are doing today is exactly like what we did yesterday, only now, instead of them giving you the factors and you setting them to equal to 0, you have to find the factors. Okay, so if you remember, to do the factors, they had, your second part of your factor had to multiply to the last number, and it has to add up to the middle number. Okay, so if you remember, what two numbers do we multiply together to get to 2? We multiply 2 times 1 is the only thing that works. Okay, then you have to ask yourself, does 2 times 1 equal 3? And it does, so we know that we can use 2 and 1. So we're going to have x plus 2 times x plus 1, which in this case matches with D. All right, now if we go one step further and we solve this like we did yesterday, this equals 0. So we need to set both of these equal to 0. So we're going x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0, and then we solve it. Minus 2 and minus 2, x equals negative 2, minus 1, and x equals negative 1, and those are our two answers. Okay, so as you see, this part right here is just like yesterday. Okay, but this part in blue right here, that's what we're kind of got to concentrate on today, which shouldn't be anything new. Okay, we spent all of chapter 8, we spent about 4 weeks learning how to factor these guys. All right, so if we look at this one, I've got some different possibilities to get to a positive 6. I have 3 times 2, I have 6 times 1. Okay, which one of these adds up to 5? Well, this one, 3 plus 2 gives me 5, 6 plus 1 gives me 7, so it's not that one. So we're going x plus 3 and x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, which matches up with B. Okay, just in a different order, and we know that that's okay. It's not a big deal if it's in a different order. So now we can set these equal to 0. So x plus 3 equals 0, and x plus 2 equals 0. Subtract your 3. X equals negative 3. Same thing over here, x minus 2. So x equals negative 2. Okay, so now, same thing, we're going to factor these guys. These top two are the same as these bottom two, only the bottom two equals 0. So we're going to do the bottom two. Okay, and go a step further. So this is where we have to be careful. We have a positive 24 and a negative 10. So that should automatically tell us how can we get positive, multiply to be a positive, and add up to be a negative. It's going to have to be a negative and a negative. So to get to 24, we've got possibilities of negative 24 times negative 1. That doesn't add up to negative 10. We've got negative 12 and negative 2. That adds up to negative 14, so that doesn't work. We have negative 8 and negative 3. That adds up to negative 11, so that still doesn't work. We have negative 6 and negative 4. That does add up to negative 10, so we know that that's what we have to use. So it's going to be x minus 6 and x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so now we can set them equal to 0. X minus 6 equals 0. X minus 4 equals 0. X equals 6. And x equals 4. Okay. Same thing over here. How am I getting to a negative 40? One's going to have to be positive, one's going to have to be negative. Okay, so we've got a long list of this. We've got negative 40 times positive 1. We've got negative 1 times positive 40. Okay, neither one of those adds up to negative 6, so that doesn't work. So we can try the next one, negative 20 and 2, or negative 2 and 20. Neither one of those adds up to negative 6. I don't think 3 goes into that, no. So 4 and 10, so negative 10 and 4, negative 4 and 10. Which one of those gets us to negative 6? They both get us to some sort of a 6. This one gets us to positive. This one is the one that gets us to a negative. So that is the one that we are going to want to use. So we know it's going to be x minus 10 and x plus 4 equals 0 is what gets us to that negative 6. So now set them equal to 0. X minus 10 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. So add our 10, x equals 10, minus our 4, x equals negative 4, and those are going to be our two answers. Okay? Kind of nice when there's no coefficients in front of there. Okay? Which, on your assignment today, there isn't going to be coefficients. We are going to get to the point where we do have some coefficients. Okay? So sometimes you're going to see some where it doesn't equal 0. In this case, it equals 12. Okay? We need to get it so that it equals 0. We need to get this guy in a standard form. So how do we move a positive 12 to the other side? When it moves to the other side, it's that minus 12. So now we have x squared plus 4x minus 12 equals 0. And now we have to factor this. So we got to come up with factors that equal negative 12 and add up to 4. So we can go negative 12 times 1. That doesn't work. Or negative 1 times 12. That's not going to work out for us. Doesn't equal 4. What else is it? It's negative 6 times 2. Now I'm close because that equals negative 4, but not positive 4. Or negative 2 times 6. If I add these two together, that is going to give me a positive 4. So that's what I want to use. Okay, so I am using that x minus 2 and x plus 6 equals 0. Now I set them equal to 0 just like I have been doing. X minus 2 equals 0. X plus 6 equals 0. X equals positive 2. X equals negative 6. Okay? Not so bad. If we do this one, we've got to move that 14 over. So minus 14 minus 14. X squared plus 5x minus 14 equals 0. Now we can go ahead and factor that. We need a negative 14, so negative 14 times 1, or negative 1 times 14. That doesn't work. That doesn't give us a 5. So then we can try negative 7 and 2, getting close, or negative 2 and 7. Okay? Which one of those works? This one is the one that's going to get us to a positive 5. So I'm going x minus 2, because that's a negative 2, and x plus 7, because that's positive 7, equals 0. Now I get to set them equal to 0, so x minus 2 equals 0, x plus 7 equals 0, and now I'm solving them. X equals 2, x equals negative 7 matches us up with A. Okay, so this is all you're doing in your assignment. Okay, we're not even going to have a coefficient in front of that x squared yet. Okay, we'll do that on Thursday. But So right now, they're either going to give them to you where they look like this, and you have to factor, okay, and set them equal to 0, or some of them, you're going to have to move that coefficient over to the other side before you do any factoring, okay? So your assignment is right there on Daily Planner. It is pages 50, what is it? 56 through 60. So it's a lot of factoring, okay? Have fun.